Oh no, not that. There we go. I'm like, let's see. Oh, because it's a little. Let's do this and this. There we go. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm exhausted. But I'm glad it's the weekend. I would be even more glad if my homework was already done. I'm gonna have to start doing homework throughout the week so I can have my weekends free. I'm not about that student life no more. This red squirt is so good. It tastes so good. All right, I'm gonna grab Steph. Hey, happy belated birthday! Oof. Oh my gosh! The Enchanted Map Oracle. Oh, I gotta flip this again. Uno momento, por favor. Por favor. And wrong camera. Grind your life, and night. There we go. Itami kanashimi de kizu suita kimi wo. How are you doing? I feel like I felt accomplished today. Yeah, no problem. I was like, "Happy birthday, Steph," and then my lights were like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." I just want to pull some cards and see what's up before I go to sleep, before I go to bed. I kind of want to see if I can like gaze into, peek into. Yeah, they were so excited. Gaze into, peek into something hidden, not hidden, easy to miss. What is easily missed right now? Because I think that I'm doing pretty well. I worked like 11 and a half hours today. Unintentionally. I don't know where the time went or how I moved so slow. I was like, oh, 2 hours? I can finish this. To be fair, though, stuff came up. So it wasn't bad, though. For some reason, like when I go in at 6:30, I'm good. If I go in after 6:30, I'm like so tired when I get off. I'm tired now because it's almost my bedtime. But yeah, I did my homework for one class, and tomorrow I'm going to do it for another class. So hopefully I get Sunday off. That would be so cool. That would be très magnifique. That's French for very cool. Okay. What is something easily missed? That's what I'm feeling. Something easily missed, easily overlooked. Okay. Ooh, I haven't seen that card yet. Ooh, okay. Ooh, two cards. Excuse me. Bottom of the deck is Golden Palace. So, Golden Palace is number 23, which is a 5. It's a 3 in the physical, a 2 in the energetic. This is interesting because it feels like that's a change that's being led by the physical. Ariel, how are you, girl? I saw you yesterday shining. Ooh, y'all was going into all of it. It was gorgeous. This is so good. I should have put a little drink in it. 7 more days till I get paid. So Russell, Oh, 1 second. I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. Sweaty. It's part of the territory. Everything is so saggy. Everything's so saggy. Saggy. The rain. Oh my gosh. I think, what was I doing? I might have to watch it again because I was listening to it and like going through emails and looking at announcements and pulling up the homework and stuff like that. But this energy is very exhausting. I don't even know anymore. I feel like I'm just like, I don't know. I never know. Well, you have to focus for his videos. I'll give you a clue as to the videos. Four. I wish I had like not to well to no not tequila. I don't like mixing tequila. I like just drinking tequila. I wish I had a little alcohol to put in this. Just a little bit. You know what? I don't think it's gonna taste right, but I'll do it. Hold up, wait. Let me change the screen. Always drink responsibly when you're of age. I don't encourage any illegal behavior. Just a little bit. Ooh. All right. Such an interesting color. You see it? Reem! How are you doing? I haven't seen the video you sent me yet, but I will definitely check it out. You had tequila for the first time in like 10 years a couple days ago. I love tequila. I mean, I'm not drinking tequila. I wish I was drinking tequila. I don't need a reason to drink tequila. Tequila is enough reason for me to drink tequila. I started drinking. So my best friend. Oh, see, I knew this wouldn't taste right. I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have did it. I knew this wasn't gonna taste right, but it's fine. It tastes like I think I put too much in it. It's like oddly creamy. You see that? Oh wait, I don't know. Ooh, I need to make some of that tea I got up there. I want to take some to work. It's not bad. I feel like the cream from the rum chata is like thick, and then the other drink isn't as thick. I wish I had my mic so I could. So this 23, I'm looking for something that's easy to miss or not currently being advertised, but it's available. Ugh. Yeah, these flavors don't mix. They don't mix. I knew they wouldn't. YOLO. So this 23 Golden Palace, it feels like it's led by the physical in some way. Oh, you can hear it? Okay. Um, because it's a 23, which is the 5, which is about change. The 3, the catalyst, the thing that leads to change is in the physical. Oh, so I'm taking 2 databasing classes. One of them where it's actually databasing, another one where it's like database design and it's dry. It's dry AF. Thank you. I got like some new shirts. I'm gonna be getting into the pastels. I have like this. I got like 2 like baby blue, light blue shirts, like robin's egg blue. I have a pink one, or it's like I got this one and one that's a little. It's like not a dusty rose. I don't know colors. It's pink, but it's like a desaturated pink. Um, and I don't know. Like I want to get more colors. You know. Hold on, do I have any? Oh, I don't have any. They're like, oh, you can't take pictures at work or whatever, because whatever. So, but I will. But anyway, so I'm taking a databasing class. So it feels like the thing already exists in the spiritual, but it's about like making a call in the physical to retrieve it. But it's like it's already there. Senores. Okay, let me stop. That's rude. So we have metamorphosis and commitment. 36, which is a 9. What else was 36? Was that Querith? And then 25, metamorphosis. So there's a 5, a 7, and a 9. So, oh, look, there's more butterflies. I haven't been seeing butterflies. Usually I don't see butterflies. Usually I don't see butterflies like this. So this 5 in the physical is a result of this 5 here. So there are things that exist in the energetic, spiritual, ethereal that we call in based off of where we are and what we're doing. Like the access to it is on the physical side, which leads to a change in the physical. But it's this weird like shifting energy, if that makes any sense. You've been seeing dragonflies? Oh, snap. I saw one at the store a few weeks ago. It was huge. and it was moving so slow, like it wanted me to see it, and then it took off. I was like, because I don't think I've ever seen a dragonfly like in town before. And I went to Walmart and are we coming or going? I don't remember, but it was huge. And I was like, I looked over and it was like it was moving slow enough for me to see it. I was like, okay. Dragonfly and butterfly cards. This is disgusting, but I'm gonna keep drinking it. So, because we still have the two in the energetic, so it's like there's something in the physical that we make a call to the spiritual, and then it's like it comes back. But when it comes back from the spiritual, it's like it shifts. It's like hold up, wait. I feel like I'm not. Was that Russell? It is Russell. Well, I don't know if it was a dragonfly or a damselfly, Russ. I thought you were swimming. Swimming. Yeah, I love the rain. It was like after dry Portugal. So it's like this. So this will be okay. This will be. Uh, it's fine. So it's like from the physical. How do I do this? Oh, I have this, and I can hold one. So this is the physical, and over here is the spiritual, right? So we start at this Joy-Con, the back one, this one right here, and we make a call to the spiritual. And on its way back, or when it comes back, it shifts us to this one. So it's like that's the thing. It's like it seems like mechanical. It's like it's like goes out from here, comes back, and shifts to this one. Okay. If that makes any sense. I love that one part when you're like, I'm gonna move this so I can be in the light, and it was light for like 2 seconds, and as soon as you sat back, it was like shadow again. But see, this is so weird. So this is this five. So the shifted physical from the query or the request is this metamorphosis, or maybe like the golden palace. That's it's shifting it closer and closer to the golden palace energy. But it reaches the point. It feels like it reaches a point where we exhaust what was in that spiritual sector. It feels like there are different pockets of energy, of potential. Oh, wait, I forgot to pull this back up. It feels like there are different pockets of potentials. And we actually like make a few trips to the same potential before we exhaust it or before we shift to a new potential. Because that one potential holds many physical experiences within it, but we're still more or less within the same energetic ballpark. But it feels like enough of this. It's like it shifts us to the edge of one physical bubble into another. And then that opens up a different energetic potential. That's why the three is now in the energetic where it was the two. It already existed, it was stable. And that is leading forward a new it's almost like a balance in the physical, but it's not. It's harmony. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hard Russ, Scarlet. Wait, what? Oh, I guess. I guess it is. I don't wait. Where did Saturn go? There we go. Well, I kind of want to read the Golden Palace. Ario. Yeah, 579. I'm like, wait. What? And maybe this is interesting because it almost looks like Spirit is presenting a lock to something for which we already have the key. And it's interesting because it's like it's not like Spirit is giving us the key to open new experiences. Spirit is giving us the lock. Like this key is what we gain by going through this sort of process. I'll just grab a deck. I don't know. And the card of commitment is here. Why commitment though? Maybe it goes back to that one thing because the potential has shifted, right? So maybe the energy of commitment, it's like this new bubble more fully comes in when it's just like we don't go back to the old potential. Maybe that's a commitment. Maybe there's something within this or after this that doesn't even have. It's like some of the things that we experience pre metamorphosis can't exist after this in this golden palace energy. It's just like you're not going to find anything bronze or tin in the golden palace. Like the mermaid. Yeah. Wasel, Rel. Yeah. I know because like I've seen it spelled, but when I watched your first video, you like Ariel. Was it Ariel? Yeah, Ariel. I was like, oh. Sometimes in my brain though, like when I'm thinking of like a name or something, I'll think of how it's spelled and then I'll like get confused. I'll say it weird. And it does remind me there was I'll pull those because I haven't pulled those in a while. And the Wild Unknown, the I think it was the Eight of Swords and the Butterfly, or the Butterfly came out somewhere. And it felt like the butterfly was actually going through another metamorphic phase. Like you go from the caterpillar to the butterfly, and then the butterfly changes into something else. So maybe the thing that's easy to miss right now is that this is happening. It feels very like mechanical though. It feels very automated. And I guess it would be automated because it's automatic. It's the nature of frequency or vibration or likeness that puts us in a different space. Oh, I need. Why am I still wearing these? See those things? I'm like, here they are. I prefer my broken readers. See, because I can read. It means Lion of God. It's the male version. Who knows why? Ooh, yeah. I just try to like, cause my mom, um, she has a unique name. Ooh, the High Priestess, and she's always on about the pronunciation. So I try to pronounce names correctly, and also like I don't mind putting in that little bit of extra effort. You know what I mean? I remember. It's fine. I don't have to talk about it. The raccoon and the two of pentacles. Metamorphosis, commitment. And there are two flamingos here. And the metamorphosis card. Peaks of Joy, number 33, is behind this. Because it feels like these are similar or something. I don't know. Is it a monarch? Or is it different? Ah, the Earth something. I know there's the Soul Star, the Earth. It's Earth something. I think so. I only like heard about him maybe once. I watched a video and it was like the 8th, ninth, 10th, and the 11th, maybe 12th, and it's like the one. I'm like, okay. Ooh, Owl and Lion. Is this God Samos? No, he was the eagle and the lion. Okay. The lion and the owl. There's something here. It feels like there's something here that we only see if we have the courage to do so. There's an energy here that it feels like it gazes, and then there's a phoenix at the bottom of the deck. It feels like it gazes into areas and spaces. It feels like it almost feels like there's like a. It feels like a nightmarish shape that is very. It's more transparent than you think it is, and it feels like something is hidden behind it. It reminds me of the shadow side card in the Witch's Tarot and how it feels like an illusion. Then the entire exoskeleton cracks open and the dragonfly emerges. No chrysalis. The nymph is the chrysalis, I guess. When it leaves that old body behind. Where did you talk about that? I remember that came out. What is this lion looking at? There's the eagle. Black egg at the bottom of the deck. Black egg, was that the one that was about like the voice of truth? Yeah, see, that was like gate 7. The eagle, the lion. Ooh, I thought that. Oh, there's the eagle. I was like, I thought the eagle was out here somewhere. So the lion is looking at the oyster. See, I told you. Yeah, see, there's something very like nightmarish over here. Oh gosh, my head hurts. My head hurts. My head hurts. There's something that this lion has the courage to look through that others just like. It's not even an others thing. It feels like a way to change something. And then the eagle, the 9 of wands, and the sun. There's something about the eye and how different eyes have different abilities or gifts associated with them. Like mantis shrimp see more than 900 colors or something like that. Oh, thank you, Russ. I actually need to like watch it. What you see and what it projects. Yeah, cicada. Oh, yeah, the cicada. What's the katydid? Are katydids like small cicadas? That drink is it's kind of growing on me at this point. Oh, Russ, here's another. Well, it's gone now, but it was more crimson before. Because it feels like that's what it hide behind. That's what something hides behind. It's like the Wizard of Oz, but if the wizard was evil, right? And then it's like you look behind the curtain and you're like, oh my gosh, like I was afraid of this. But it feels like the resolution to the thing lies behind the thing. And I feel like it's this commitment energy too. Because then it's this energy, it's like, well, once you're committed to seeing through it, then it dissipates. It's like it's not until you actually made up your mind to do the thing that it gets taken care of. But it feels like one of those things that's a lot easier. It's almost like it becomes almost like a non problem. Because once you gather up the courage to see through it or to see it through, it feels like it puts you in the energy of the Golden Palace. And this, whatever it is wearing, it doesn't exist in Golden Palace energy. So it's almost like it fades into nothingness in front of your very eyes. It's like Meet the Robinsons at the at some point in the movie with the evil hat, and he looks at, like, the hat has taken over the world, and he looks at the hat and he says, "I'm not going to invent you." Because so the hat was invented in the future, but they went back to the past. And so in the past, he decides not to invent the hat. So it prevents that unfavorable future from happening. And again, it's like it everything fades before their very eyes at the moment of that decision, at the time of that decision. It's 9/11. It'll be 9/11 here in a few hours. See, and I feel like that energy is echoed here because it's like you're making your way through this Nine of Wands energy, thinking that you're going to hit this moon, but it turns into the sun. And maybe that's what the eagle is. It's like owl energy plus lion energy gives you the eagle. But it's like the owl sees in the dark, but it doesn't necessarily do anything. It feels like owl energy is primarily watching or observing, but it isn't doing. This energy is doing. This is a lot of cards. Six of Cups, Knight of Swords, Two of Swords, Six of Wands, Eight of Wands, and the Elephant. It's almost like as soon as you make this decision, as soon as you make this commitment, something opens. Hey, look, there's the red. Oh my gosh, we're matching. It kind of reminds me of Reem's Pisces video. Hey, Janelle, thank you. Yeah, I know. I got your stuff. I think on the radio yesterday when I was with my brother, I heard something about it. Shout out to those little balloons back there that try. I don't know where they get the helium from. Because here's the decision being made. And it feels like the decision being made, it feels like it activates something like retroactively. It feels like a very retroactive energy because it's like the power of this decision goes back into the past with the Six of Cups energy, but brings you like forward into something new. It's like a maybe it's that energy. Maybe that's the same thing where it's like the thing where it goes back and then something shifts and then it comes back, but it finds you when you're different. I don't know. It is one. I guess the elephant is facing forward too. It is just kind of up there. And maybe it has something to do, maybe there was something that we can't, maybe there is something that we can't look at, something that we think we can't face. And it's like when we finally have the courage to face it, it's one of those things. It's like if you've ever had a conception of something for a while and you live your life for like years or months or days or whatever, and then you get information that lets you know that the way that you thought about it or conceived it was wrong, and then you're like, oh, and then it's like you mentally go back and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, then that makes a lot of sense. Like it feels like that energy. Like let's say that the easiest way to put it, it's like let's say that somebody bullied you, because this is a story in the collective. Let's say that when you were young, like somebody bullied you, right? And then like years later you find out that they had a crush on you or something. And you're like, oh, like that's why they bullied me. And then you think back, you're like, oh my gosh, like this and that. It's like it completely changes the way you see the situation and you get something completely new out of it. It transforms it. And it's almost like it brings it out of the darkness and into some kind of clarity. But it almost feels like it doesn't happen though until you don't need it anymore with that commitment energy. I don't even understand that sentence, Russell. They found new helium reserves in I think I met a woman from Tanzania a few years ago. I just remembered that. And like this aha moment, see, there's something, but it's like here, hidden in the oyster. And then here's the voice of truth with the black egg. I didn't samurai cut. Ah, Reem. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I guess I'll take all three. The Ten of Pentacles with the Devil and the Sea Serpent. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just thought, oh, I did. I don't know. I wouldn't think of helium as like coming from anywhere, I guess. I would think of helium as like just something that is, but I guess that doesn't make sense. I guess it has to come from somewhere, right? There's that mouse that was in the Pisces reading. Oh, snap. The lights are saying something. This is an energy. It's like the smallest voice can produce a mighty change. The gazelle was in it. I forgot about the gazelle. See, and this it's reminding me of that lion energy because this feels like one of those like um standing in your authenticity, using the power of your voice, and it's like there's something that needs to be spoken on, and it's like you're the only person that has the courage to say it. Although, like with the owl and the eagle, you may be the only person that notices that something is like wrong. Maybe others can't see it because that's something that's meant for you to bring about. And then we have the gazelle, the camel, and the scorpion, all fire energies. There's a question. It's like, how do you want your abundance? But it's not necessarily how you want your abundance because the energy that you put towards it is the energy that it'll have when you get it. It reminds me, it's like that came out a while ago, but it's like the energy that you approach it with is going to be the energy that it has when you get it. So it's like if you're someone who takes advantage of people and you use people or whatever, like if you put shady, not that great energy on it, when you get it, when you receive the thing, it's going to hold that energy. And it may not, like, that's when it may turn around and like sting you. And you're like, what? But you've been dancing and prancing like a gazelle. Hey, Mercury retrograde. You mentioned there was like I said I'm gonna have to watch it again because when I was like listening to it, I was doing other stuff. I was preparing to do my homework, but I know the number four made an appearance, and there was a 6541 or something like that. Okay, I need to stop. Um, oh no! Oh come on! Ugh. All right. I feel like I am not focused. I feel like I should focus for this. Um, I don't mind. I don't mind being harsh tongued sometimes. I think there are some things sometimes that need to be said in a certain way. I mean, not everyone is like receptive to it, but it's like there's a time to placate and pacify and like try to give it gentle, and then it's like I don't know, times where it isn't. Excuse me. I'm just like, I guess. I feel like there's something in this. See, this is over here. The magician is watching. I feel like one of y'all said something about this. See, there's something here. Something here. It's like that. It's like that commitment energy. It's like as soon as you commit to it, it's done. And you're like, what? Like, I didn't even have to, like, I thought this was going to be a whole thing. It's like for the people who, like, work up the courage to come out to somebody, or when you work up the courage to be vulnerable and open with somebody, right? You don't have to be in the community. And then someone's like, oh, yeah, like, I know. And you're like, excuse me? Like, do you know how hard it was for me to say that? Can you at least act a little surprised or something? But this is where it's like this is where the shift actually happens, though. Who was that? The Ace of Swords. Oops. Yeah, see, that's that using your voice energy. And it goes back to empowerment yesterday. Oh. It's almost like that is the test or the lesson. It's like the thing doesn't matter. It does, but it doesn't. Oh, Reem, it was you with the gazelle. The gazelle was the thing that was waiting on the other side of the portal. When the mouse goes through the world, the gazelle was there like waiting. That's this magician energy. It's like all of the elements for a certain shift are present, but we are the catalyst for it. It's like it's only missing us. And then like once we get there, like we're the missing piece. I just remember I was like, wait. All right. This is like this I understand. This I don't. But not everything is to be understood. This is a choice. The camel and the scorpion, it's like if we want to, we can persevere. We don't have to change anything. And that also came up in the Pisces reading. Um, it's oh snap! Oh, I love that even more now. Evening sky. That's that like when the mouse was going through the world, and then when the dragonfly was going to the world. But in that reading, it's like either way, the thing is going to happen. Here, it feels like that's not necessary. Well, I don't know. This is interesting though. because it feels like it's something that we don't have to do. Scorpion feels sharp. See, but in that, Russell, I think we don't actually have to bite it though. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's fine. That's one of the things where I'd be like, see, because again, like the thing here is commitment. It's very Abraham and Isaac. Was it Abraham and Isaac when God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, and so Abraham took Isaac up the mountain to sacrifice him, and then the angel came and said, like, you don't actually have to sacrifice Isaac. It's the energy of like a test of commitment because it feels like the sea serpent is about to bite its own tail, but then it's told that it doesn't have to. It's told that it doesn't have to because whatever it was going to gain by biting its own tail again, like that's the commitment that's sort of being tested here. It feels like the sea serpent is like just about to bite it, and then everything changes. So it doesn't actually have to go through with it. But if the sea serpent approaches it with the belief that everything with the sea serpent is like, I know that like I don't actually have to bite my own tail, and like they go to bite their tail, they're gonna bite it because it's a test of commitment. And that's why I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't say something or whatever. Because it feels like if you approach it with the sense that it isn't going to be what it is, then it will be. And it's because of like what it's testing. Maybe that's a thing too. Maybe sometimes we go through experiences to test us in ways, but it's almost like they test us. Sometimes they test us in specific ways. And it's almost like because they're to teach us something, right? And so if we don't get what they are supposed to teach us, then we keep experiencing the thing. And you can always find something to be what it's supposed to be. But if it isn't what it is, then it's not going to be the key to unlock that commitment. And it's like, because we do a lot of things with the expectation that we'll get something in return, right? It's like, oh, like I'm doing my healing, so this person will come back. I'm doing my healing, so that person will come back. I'm doing my healing, so I can get more money. I'm on the journey to get this, to get that, to get whatever. And it's like we bait ourselves in that way because those things aren't necessarily promised or guaranteed. And so we set ourselves up for disappointment in some way. Yeah. The expectation of the reward delays the reward. Because it's like we don't put what we need to into it. But this isn't necessarily peaks of joy. 33. I wanted to pull the after tarot. I would say no, Steph, because It's like technically yes, but I think like when we think of doing things differently, we're still approaching things in the same way. And it's almost like it's not about the things that we do, it's about the way that we approach it in a way, or the way that we think about it. Yeah. And it's like social media is so interesting because I'll go on Facebook and I'll see like everybody sharing stuff that's like, not everyone has your kind heart. And it's like, okay, so everybody is sharing this. Everybody thinks that they're whatever. So like what's what's going on here? What's the truth? Because if we all these kind-hearted, generous, whatever people, I feel like the world wouldn't be what it is. And we wouldn't be talking about each other in the ways that we're talking about each other. So something is up. And I think Rob and Ariel touched on that yesterday in the sense that, like how everyone is sort of empathic to some nature and how a lot of people would identify as one, right? And it's like, well, if everyone is identifying as this thing, then wouldn't things be different in some way? I don't know. I wanted to pull these, so I'm going to pull these. And then I'm going to end this. It's already been an hour. Because this doesn't feel like the thing that we don't know, or the thing that's like easy to miss. Maybe it's almost something about intention and how powerful it is. And maybe it's for us to observe what our intentions are really for a lot of stuff. You're on Facebook? I'm on Facebook. I still have all my socials. But I don't know. When it comes to social media and stuff, I view it as it is. And that's one thing, like I understand it about people, but it's one thing that confuses me about people because it's like if we already know that people curate their lives on social media to make them seem a certain way, then why are we affected by the things that we see? Like we already know that models don't look like in real life what they look like in magazines and on the internet. So why does that pressure exist when that's something that we know? But as a human who also knows things but who is still affected by those things, it's like I get it, but I don't get it. It's like weird human things. Oof, well, after the Three of Swords. Okay, so the swords have come out. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think after the devil, ooh, after the Seven of Pentacles, it's just, I don't have to keep saying after. I think people are offended, and some people are offended in a lot of valid ways. And I think we're moving at a time where consideration is being lent to things that they weren't really being lent to before. And maybe some things can be a little extreme. And some people, I don't know. It is what it is. I want like two. Okay, that's way too much. But that was a high priestess. Nah, I'm not going to take that. Maybe I will take it. Oops. This feels like gate. Yeah. I know it like it affects people in a lot of ways. And then to like to be the celebrity or to be anybody who meets someone and then they're like, "Oh, you look different in the magazine." It's like, yeah, well, it's a magazine. So, but it just isn't really for me it's not something that I too much struggle with. So for me it's like a non-issue. And it's not that way for everyone. But also, I'm not being objectified and stuff like that or made to look a certain way to be more marketable or advertisable or to sell things or whatever. This feels like gate 2 with Goddess and Lil about like using pain and not great experiences to water something moving forward. And that's why the 5 of Cups is at the bottom. Excuse me, here. There's an energy, it's like no longer drowning in the things. You see? Well, it's not going to change anything, Wes. That's why I'm like, that's one of the things that I love about like me just being me. Because it's like what you see is what you get. So hopefully you like me because I'm not changing. I will if I need to. I'll take that back. But it's whatever. Woo! That I was like, I can see why you wouldn't. That one was rough. Oh, thank you, Reem. I just feel like for me, like appearances have been something that I've never prioritized or really cared about. So like clothes, physical appearance, hair, any of that stuff is like I prioritize my internal. So like my mind, my heart, stuff like that. That's where I put my value. So if my physical appearance gets like that's why I don't compare myself because I don't put much worth or value in it. I don't really care. Although now I'm kind of it's not that I'm starting to necessarily, but I am. So, but this is the choice. And with this energy, again, like with the devil in the after tarot, like the physical situation didn't necessarily change. We did. And this change is a currency. This came out with the title card, so I'm not even going to talk about it. But it feels like I said I wasn't going to talk about it. Oh, thanks, Steph. No, they're making out. They're on the ground making out. They're still there. But it's an energy because it's like the lovers, right? And so It's like even in the midst of everything, you can still be. And maybe that's a message for like some people. Because I think sometimes some people feel like they're messed up and they feel like they're no good to anybody. And it's like, even if you're in the situation that you're in, or even if you're bound to the things that you're bound to, even if you can't escape the things that you feel you can't escape, like you're still some good, right? It doesn't invalidate who you are and what you have to contribute as a person. But at the same time, it's almost like until you free yourself from that, you may be limited in your experience. But that's just the nature of dependency and not great coping mechanisms. I prefer to view it as they found love in a hopeless place. Maybe love needs a devilish side to grow. Well, they do say for better or for worse, right? When you get married. Ooh, judgment. They say for better or for worse when you get married. So it's kind of like the same, right? Lovers in light and lovers in shadow. And not in some like weird way. But it's something about like getting an entire view of someone. And if it's someone or something that you love, you should still love it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna subject ourselves to all kinds of like just not great stuff. Because we also love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we have boundaries that we stick to. You prefer to think that the devil inspires love. Oh, okay. What was I about to say? It's like one of those things where it's like, at first, like, you find someone attractive, and so like you're just hooking up, but then you like develop feelings. You're like, oh wow, like you're actually like a good person too. Like, what? Are we like compatible? And then they're like, I said no strings attached, and they run. I'm kidding. Ooh. The magician, the high priestess, and the stingray. Okay. I will never. I can't abandon. I'm on the fence. I got to be in both. I'm dark sided enough, right? I'm comfortable in my dark side, but I am not. I'm just like, oof. If it's scary, I'm out. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck still. See, that's the thing about the 10 of Pentacles, though. It feels like the 10 of Pentacles or any Pentacles card is, it's like a reflection of the place that we're in. But that's not necessarily. It's a reflection of the place that we're in, but the place that we're in isn't always a reflection of us. And so with that 2-3-2-5-3-6 energy, it's like getting to the edge of a potential. Oh, okay, octopus. Oh gosh. Because it's like when the place that we're in isn't a reflection of how do I say this? When the place that we're in isn't a reflection of us, then it be. I don't know how to communicate it. So I'll just use an example, right? So let's say that you're in, hey, Russell, this is for you. There you go. There's a turtle for you, Russ. You know why the turtle is for you. It's like if it isn't a reflection, but it becomes one. And there's something about commitment and integrity and what is it? It's like a stability. See, that's like, oof. Who was that? The bumblebee? No, the swan and the rabbit. I feel like in some ways it takes. What am I trying to say? It takes a lot to change something physical. And I think sometimes we may lack the consistency to change it. Because there's something about to reach the point where, let me just speak of my own journey. I reached a point last year when Patrick was being Patrick. If you know me, you know me, and you probably won't be surprised. But I was like, this world is not a reflection of me. I reached a point where I was like, the world is going to reflect me instead of like me being a reflection. I don't know how to say it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so for me to do that, it was this understanding of like, it's like if you try to take a picture of something or if you try to copy it, if you move it, it's going to blur. And so you're going to get a distorted image. And that's the stability and integrity that we need to make sure that it's an accurate sort of representation. I don't know where I'm trying to go with that. I don't know how to communicate it. But I feel like that energy was there in the Ten of Pentacles. Number Six of Swords. Wait. And the octopus is handsy. Wait. I think of the octopus as the master key of sensuality. It's Russell. It's Russell, Reem. It's Russell. But see, that's the thing about that Golden Palace and commitment. That's the thing about the magician that's waiting for the mouse to speak. And I think too, with the lion that came out, I think there's a certain dominance or a certain it feels very like masculine. Feels like, we think that we got to be in a masculine, domineering, dominant energy to try to encourage a change or whatever. And it isn't. It feels more like feminine resolve. It feels like that I will stand here and I will wait until we're ready to proceed. And I won't be moved. I won't settle. I'm not going to be bought out. I'm not going to sell out because it feels like there are snake oil salesmen, I guess, who come our way. And like that's the sort of like devil into that Ten of Pentacles energy because it's like, well, if you give in, that's how we sort of like remain within the same energetic potential without necessarily shifting to a new one. Because we sort of, I don't know, give in. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. But the energy, it's like, it can be here now if you were committed to it. And I think, too, sometimes things ask things of us that we're not necessarily comfortable with. And so, in that way, we also sabotage it. Right? It's like if something requires vulnerability or openness and you don't want to be vulnerable or open, then it's like, okay, well, you know, that's kind of sort of a requirement for the thing. What? I'm not saying like an octopus. You didn't own the reflection of the world you lived in, so you projected a new you. I feel like that is it, but my brain is just like not comprehending anything. I'm not getting nothing over here. I'm not getting a single thing. I feel like the only synchronicity I'm getting is like butterflies, but I feel like I just started seeing them. It wasn't even a like, this is happening. And I know that, like, you know, butterflies symbolize metamorphosis and change and stuff like that. But it's like, what is a butterfly to me? I don't know. It does sound like it would be like, had to, I'm going to scream now. I'm going to scream so Homer Simpson can hear me next door. They also represent fleeting time. The ephemerality of life. I feel like my dreams have been like whatever lately. New Brunswick, what? That's a synchronous. There's a synchronicity for me. Okay. I was like, I'm not getting any synchronicities, and then there's one. Daughter of Pentacles and the butterfly with the Ace of Swords and that Six of Swords. I feel like this is the energy of that projection. It feels like there's a band of light at the top, and it is what it is. But this Daughter of Pentacles, it's like she creates this pinnacle within her, and she pushes it up into this band of light, and it becomes like a prism. It refracts all of the light, and it creates this rainbow. This, it's like that's her world, that's her reality. It's hers. And there's something about the way that she, excuse me, the word that comes to mind is access. You've been to original Brunswick in Germany. Ooh. It feels like there's something about the way that she accesses knowledge gained from experiences. There's a there's a recognition here of experiential knowledge and of like situational knowledge. There's a it almost feels like Virgo, but it's like Virgo and Gemini and a bit of Pisces and maybe some Sagittarius, but not really. It's Gemini because it feels like it. Well, maybe Sagittarius is in there too. It's like this registry, a database of like all of her experiences. It's Virgo because of the way that she categorizes it. It's Piscean because of almost like how she wishes to change and edit it. And then it's Sagittarian in the way that it wants or she wants to like experience it or the way in which she wants it to be expressed. There's something about being aware. It's not like being aware of one's limitations, but there's a knowledge of limits here that would keep others from, or that would keep a lot of people from experiencing anything different. Because it feels like we all do this, but there's a certain situationality to a lot of what we know. But we project that as a universal or complete truth. And since we project it as a universal and complete truth, we continue to experience more of the same rather than it's like editing, changing, modifying. But the editing and the changing and the modifying isn't necessarily done within self. Like the only thing we can really edit, change, and modify within self, it's like the validation of it is outside of our own, it's like outside of our ability to do. And so there's also something here between this and everything that came out before about understanding how scope and scale work. Because I think a lot of times or sometimes we can buy into like large scale things. And so when you operate on a scope that's like that big, you have to be capable of filling that space. But you don't fill the space, but you have to be capable of it. And I think it's like sometimes we sort of go a little bigger and it requires more from us than we're able to do, perform, or give. And that's why it's like some things may be easier than other things. And it's like it's holding blank space. So it's like it's occupying that space, but it isn't filling it. It's allowing it to be filled. And that's like the external validation type part or a fulfillment. And it's not like like fulfillment in the way of like, fulfillment. It's fulfillment in the way of like processing and order. Body healing of the sacral, truth in the gut transforming. Ooh, Ten of Cups. And the Daughter of Swords. It's like pruning. Later, Reem. Have a good night. I'm trying to get to bed too, but I am slowly making my way to bed. It is my bedtime. Where is this box? Where this box at? Hello? Oh, here it is. I have no clue. It's 10:08. We're in the same time zone, Russell. Can you believe it? I remember watching you a year ago and being like, "Oh, if I ever make it back to the UK, like I'm gonna have to go visit Russell." Or was that 2 years ago now? No, no, it wasn't 2 years ago. That was last year. And then you left, and I was like, "Well, I feel like that tarantula is speaking to me." Oof. And I got the spider. Usually it's the tarantula. Now it's the spider. Spider is sitting between the earthworm and the moth. This is interesting because it feels like more than anything, you've just been like ramping up the sweat lodge. First, you had the dry sweat in Portugal. Now you get the wet sweat in Mexico. The spider, both of these energies are in the dark, but this is in the dark in a subterranean way. This is in the dark in an airy way that seeks light. These together are the foundation for what we experience in a way. And I feel like a lot of times we do a lot of light side sort of working manifestation, whatever, but it's an energy. It's almost like you're only as, it's like you're only as strong as your weakest player or whatever, because it's a collaborative collective effort. And so it's like there's an energy of like needing to raise the bottom line in some way, or to at least focus on it or give attention to it, because it feels like it's something that we may, it's just like it's the basis and foundation. It's the foundation, right? The shadow, the in the Yggdrasil, the shadowy roots of the Yggdrasil tree, like the roots are where you get a lot of nutrition and stuff like that. And so if the ground is void or nutrient deficient, then it's going to struggle to grow. But it also feels like it's really easy to. My brain is just like not finding words today. My brain is not coming up with the words today. I don't know how to communicate any of this. But it's like when we don't pay attention to the root, it's really easy for other things to sort of like sneak in a way. And so we kind of sort of start dealing with problems and issues that maybe aren't even necessarily ours to deal with, But because it's an area that we don't pay any attention to, we're open and we're vulnerable and we're susceptible. It's an entry point. And that kind of goes back to courage in the owl earlier with seeing into those spaces. And then with the oyster, the panther, and the vulture, it's like having the ability to go in and clean it up. But as long as there are things down there that we sort of refuse to see, as long as we're chasing the light and running from shadows, it continues to sort of be the basis of our experience in a way. And I feel like with this energy, it's like from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet and to the shadow underneath. All of that, both light and dark, conscious and subconscious, internal, and it's like internal, and external, like closer to the core and then closer to the skin. Like all of that creates our experience. And a lot of times it's like we try to focus on this without accommodating for this. Reem! Russ, Rod, and the black egg again. See, and I feel like that's what the earthworm is doing, though. It's like it reminds me of the daughter of cups. It's like it's bringing this rainbow to the earth. There's something about like aeration and stuff like that. Um, and it's like we sort of have shadow at every junction and at every point. And so, and it's not necessarily, we have light and we have dark at every point. And the shadow is sort of in between. Shadow, it feels like more often than not, it's just the space of things that aren't dealt with or that aren't observed in a way. I don't know. It's like me being too empathic and discerning emotions that are not mine. Well, for this, it's like that was purely like internal. And maybe I think sometimes there are times when things come up that aren't ours, but maybe there are times when things come up that are. See, the whole thing, it's such a tricky balance. It's such a tricky balance between like what is ours, what isn't ours, what is ours that we're not recognizing, and so we treat it like it isn't ours when in fact it is ours. And then it's those things that keep us from experiencing anymore. Because it's like we're trying to grow a sequoia in a teacup. If the plant can't expand its roots, it's not going to grow above the surface. It's not going to grow more than it has the capability to sustain itself. And we're not really doing as much to sustain us as we are sort of like reaching for more in a lot of ways. And then it's also too sometimes it's like when there are things within ourselves that we refuse to see and or acknowledge, who's to say what's ours and what isn't ours? It's harder to say what's ours and what isn't ours when there are things within ourselves that we don't acknowledge, because it could be, or it cannot be, or it could be both, yours and not yours. I don't know. After tarot. Excuse me. Woo! I'm so warm and achy. I feel like I'm always like trying to correct my posture. Cause now that I live a less sedentary lifestyle, I feel like I can feel bad posture just like making my body ache. I'm like, oh goodness. There we go. With the fool at the bottom of the deck. This is funny. This feels like an energy. These feel separate. This feels like an energy where we tell spirit that we want something and we're gonna get it no matter what. And we're the fool and spirit's like, I don't know. And then like we go off the cliff and then we want to get back up and spirit's like, no, like let go. Like you said you wanted this. Let go. Fall into it. Like no, like we're trying to, it feels like we're trying to like undo or like not go through something that we put ourselves in the position of going through for the sake of this card always intrigues me because the Eight of Swords usually carried an energy of something that we do for ourselves. This energy, this is a you can take the prisoner out of prison, but you can't take prisoner out of you can't take the prison out of the prisoner energy. Because it feels like even after this person is freed, they still walk around with the blindfold. But now it's like instead of this single area being, excuse me, instead of this single area being where they're trapped, now the entire world is a place that they're trapped in. And so it's almost this energy, it's like maybe we were being encouraged to resolve or to heal or to work through something where we were. And this goes back to that situational understanding or the awareness of a situational understanding that the Daughter of Pentacles was coming out with. Because this energy convinces us that the entire world is a certain way. But that's because of the things that we don't resolve within ourselves. So we go from place to place to place, experiencing more or less the same thing, or we go from relationship to relationship, or we go from meeting these people to those people, from job to job, whatever. Building out it's like treating situational knowledge as universal wisdom. When in reality, we never left that Eight of Swords place that we were in. This is one of those situations where it's like, it's not the world, it's you. It's not anybody else, it's you. Because there's still things that we don't want to let go of. See, this is out escapist energy. Because it feels like the fool will get high off of this flower, thinking that it's somewhere that it's not, while all the while clinging to everything that already was. And it feels like it amplifies the need to escape here because there's nowhere that we can go in the physical to find that release. or maybe even in other spaces. It's like, you're good for a while and then energies creep in there and it's like it's no one else but you. Or maybe it's not. It's just like it's things that are unresolved. And then maybe this energy is like it's trying to hand over. This is an energy of like trying to hand over responsibility for your life to something or someone else, even if it is this magical little dude. But this is not the energy to approach any kind of magic whatever with. It's not. It's like if you have dependencies on anything, I wouldn't approach anything magical or supernatural or even necessarily spiritual, because what it does is it invites a lot of opportunities to be taken advantage of, I guess, or it affects our discernment, or we just get lost in it. We get consumed by it, just like with anything else. But it doesn't necessarily resolve anything. Escape is not a resolve. I don't know. It reminds me of the Dromok, or was it Dromok or Gromok? In some place, those water spirits that would like drown people. And it's like, yeah, well, you said you wanted an escape. It makes us so. And it's funny because it's like sometimes in not wanting to be vulnerable, we are vulnerable in some of the worst ways. Good night, Steph. Nightmares, Ul. Enjoy your 1 day belated birthday and your 2 days belated birthday tomorrow. I don't know. It's kind of sad, but it's also not very uncommon. And I feel like that was what it was talked about yesterday. How like everybody is looking to escape from something. On Rob Odinson with Ariel, special guest, Soul Mana. And again, it's like with the belief that, not the belief, I guess with the idea that it's like that healing is never over, or like we're never healed, or shadow work is never over. And again, it feels like it's primarily because of the things that we carry from place, and because we carry things rather than resolving things, and because we escape or try to escape things rather than resolving things, and because we forfeit things instead of resolving things, there are things that continue to sort of like follow us. And going back to that swan, it's like as much as we reach for we need to be able to nurture. And so we got to move to a bigger pot, which means resolving, oops, a lot of stuff. Oof. Encouragement in the magical map shifter. I forget what I was talking about. I don't know how to be soft. Because in my mind, it's like, well, it is what it is. Either we do what we need to do and we experience more, or we don't and we experience the same. And I remember that reading that you posted last year, Russ. With I actually watched it a few months ago. It was the one with the peacock outside the house, and it was. I was like, I don't know if I ever quite figured out how to do the soothing balm thing. I think I do sometimes after, but it just kind of sort of is what it is. I don't know. It's like life sucks, but we got to do what we got to do anyway, right? Everyone talks about adulting, but are we like spiritually and emotionally and mentally adulting? Are we doing the things that we don't necessarily want to do, but that we got to do to like take care of ourselves and to make sure that, there's some kind of not structure or stability, um, whatever comfort in life? It's like, no. I'm going to shuffle these again. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's time for an intervention. I remembered the 9-9 reading that you did earlier today. Because I know like challenges was the first card that came out. I was like, it was like tested. 9-9 was like more testing, more stankness. And it's interesting being sort of semi infinite, extremely creative beings with so many reservations and hesitations and limitations and stuff like that. And that's a side of Virgo energy where it feels like Virgo gets really, really good at compartmentalizing. And so where Pisces expands externally, Virgo expands internally by like continuously compartmentalizing and like compartmentalizing more and more and more and more and more. And so it's like it spirals within self. But like that's what it feels like the kind of creativity we try to do is. And that's why it feels like more often than not, we don't necessarily break from one potential into another one. It's like a fish jumping from one bubble of water into another bubble of water, from one bowl, from like the bowl into the toilet. It's like finding Nemo. To get to the ocean, sometimes you got to go through the toilet. It might be my connection. Deep freeze and storm fields. 8-9. This is an energy of stasis. and then 11 with the sacred pool. It's an energy of stasis. This is something that we don't want to experience, that we want to prevent. So we freeze everything. But see, when I talked about the fish jumping from one bowl or from one bubble of water to another, you can't do that if it's frozen over. And whenever this is occurring in the storm fields, it's causing things to be frozen over. So we hit walls. It's like it's differential. It's like a differential equation. It's like when you try to find the limit of something, but the limit, there's a discontinuity in the equation. And so you take like infinitesimally small steps towards the thing without ever hitting it to get some kind of value. It's like a piecewise function. I don't remember differential equations. And it's like when you get a different value if you approach it from the left or if you approach it from the right. Or it's like if you try to take the limit of something as the denominator approaches zero, it goes into like undefined territory. I don't remember what zero in the denominator is. But you can't have zero in the denominator. It doesn't work. And so it's like if you have 1 over x minus 2, then you can take the limit as x approaches 2 because 2 minus 2 is 0. And you can kind of sort of like figure out what the number would be. So you go like 0.00000000001. Or you go like 1.99999999999 minus 2, or 2 minus 1.999999999. Or you go 2.000000001 minus 2. You never hit 2. And there's something about, it's like getting crafty with limitations to stay within limitations rather than just like breaking limitations. Like breaking, it's plus ultra, like go beyond your limit. But there's something being avoided here. And this feels very like Kansas. Oops. This feels very Kansas. So the storm is the very thing that takes you to Oz. And I guess we come full circle back to Oz. Or you can take a hot air balloon like the wizard did. But I think he got caught in some kind of storm because the wind blew him there. Sacred pool. This is a sacred storm energy. Because the storm holds a lot of these like emerald colors. Oops. Well, there's rock bottom. The storm holds a lot of these emerald colors in it. This feels like Alice in Wonderland. Something about the way that path is made feels very Alice in Wonderland. See, but I feel like again that goes back to that energy that it's like as soon as you resolve yourself to something, then it dissipates. You've been in a storm for days. Maybe. I don't know how long you've been there. Or how long it's been storming there. I could use a storm. Make it easier to go to sleep. And it'll cool things down. It rains and rains and rains. There's something about precipitation in a non-compatible media. or in a non-compatible medium, I guess. It's like something that should be able to dissolve doesn't, and so it stays precipitated instead of like breaking down. But the compatibility is within self. I don't know. All right, that's what I got. It's been 2 hours. Oh, wait. I'll pull some the universe has your back cards because I don't want to end it like that. I don't want to leave it like that. And all of the messages in the universe has your back are positive. So not that I necessarily, I have my moments. Oops. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's a little extra rough. Let's do whatever. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care. It is what it is. We stop looking for ways to pacify and make easier, and we actually do the stuff, then we won't have to put up with it anymore. You won't have to, it'll be like a non reality. And even if it does come in, we'll know how to handle it, mitigate it, send it out, whatever. So, because I don't know how to be nice, and because the encouragement card came out, let's get some encouragement. Why is this one card? What? Okay. Just play with my eyes there. This way. Can you hear me, Russell? Russell, can you hear me? Oh, what kind of encouragement do you have to offer anyone who comes upon this and watches it for 2 hours to find some encouragement at the end? There are some things that we just can't approach if we're running from ourselves. And it seems like a lot of the things coming up are some of those things. And so it's like we'll continue to be tested, or we'll continue to be in holding areas, or continuing to be at that spiritual cul-de-sac until we face it. Look at this one. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive the sphere through the eyes of the teacher of love. And the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. I'm not going to add any comments because this is encouragement. The healing, true healing, occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Thank you. I feel like there's a little bit of validation for me. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. And again, it's feeling like that lion owl energy, the courage to look into that and to see. It feels like it's like dragons hoarding treasure, but we're not out here propagating dragon slaying, whatever, because we've done that. But it's like the thing that we want the most lies beyond that which we want the least. So, but that's the real treasure. The real treasure is being free of all those things that continue to affect us and bind us, but we just don't have the courage to work through. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. See, beyond fear. All right, now I feel better. I feel like that was perfect. That's the validation I needed. I say that I don't care, and I don't. But then I do, and when I do, I do. When I don't, I don't. I always do. But at the same time, again, it's like I feel like there's the human part of me that understands what it's like to be a human. But then there's another part of me that's like it's a part of adulting. Sometimes we got to do stuff that we don't want to do, or we have to do things that are inconvenient, or we have to do things that are scary to get where we want to go. And if we're not willing to do it, then that's us agreeing to the situation and circumstances that we're in. It's us allowing and permitting more of the same. So I don't know. I will see you all when I see you. Hopefully, it won't be tomorrow, but it might be. I hope you all have a good whenever you see this, and that you're acting. Excuse me. That you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that whatever you need along your journey, path, or way to get you to the place and space where you can be like truly free, like whatever you need to get there, I hope you get it if you want it, right? I mean, I hope you get it regardless, but I also recognize and understand that we all have free will and autonomy and sovereignty, and we all make our own choices and decisions. So, you know, that's why I say what? I hope that you're acting in alignment to make that which you wish to experience your reality. Because some people don't want to have like good days or be happy. Some people want to be miserable. And it's like, if you want to be miserable, I hope you have an absolutely terrible day. If that's what you want, I hope you get it. But it's like, oh, I feel like we need to like update the serenity prayer. It's like, I hope you have, uh, I don't know. My brain just left. So, anyway, I will catch you all, excuse me, later. See, I feel like I want to pull something else. Whenever it gets like this late in the video, or whenever I'm like, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this part, that's when I want to like. So, for bonus message for anyone who watched through the whole thing, this will only resonate if you watch through the whole thing. I wish I could do a pick a card where it's like this will only resonate if you pick one. If you pick multiple, you get none. But I can't do that. That's that weird. See, look, that's that weird Saturnian side of me, I guess. Oops. Saturn is my guiding planet, but it's like okay. I just think it would be interesting. I'm gonna do it. No, I won't. Yes, I will. But what would I pull? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 28. Siri, where you at? Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 28.
A random number 12. Between 1 and 28 is 12.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's the before tarot. And I was going to pull the before tarot. So that's confirmation for me. I don't know. That's why, like, I want to go live on my other channel more. I just like, I don't know. I like going live into the void. Oh, let me change this. Oh, it's already here. I don't have to change it. So, bonus message, please. Oh, wow. Okay. Anything else you want to add? Oof. Well, let's give it a few more. I should have kept it. Okay, it's fine. It was the Nine of Swords. Ooh, Nine of Pentacles. Knight of Cups, Hierophant, and the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is holding a cup. Oh, snap. Oh, she's holding a crown. JK, LOL. There's something being presented in all of these. And another feature is the color red. The color red is featured again. I have another channel. I was originally going to shut this channel down and go to a different channel. But with some of the stuff, it's like I have a slightly larger audience on the, well, I mean, it was like 3 versus like 30. So I had a larger audience on this channel, and some of the things felt like they were to be shared in a space where more people could come upon it if it just so happened to be on their path to receive. Um, but I feel a lot less like the energies, like they're similar, but on the other one, I just feel like I'm in a more exploratory energy sometimes. And so, like, I don't know, there's some pretty fun ones over there. But so the bonus message. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. All right. I'll catch y'all later.